Right now we're walking Boz on just the prong collar, and he's actually doing really well. I'm trying to get so you can see the placement of my shoulder. He's like a nose ahead of me, but nothing's too bad. But I do want to show you how to do the prong collar for when he comes home. If he gets a little too far ahead like he is right now, because I slowed down, oh, he's doing really well. If he gets a little too far ahead, you can just do a little, some people do a pop up, some people do a pop back. See how he's kind of sliding back a little bit with the correction. I'm not really snatching him. I'm not doing anything too hard. I'm just giving him a little bit of guidance with a prong collar. Another thing I've done is I'll cross my arm behind my back like this. That way there's just enough slack on the leash that we're not causing any tension. But the second he starts to go a little too far ahead of me, all I have to do is pop my wrist like that. If you can see that, and it makes a correction on him and keeps him a little bit, just not a little bit further behind me, it just keeps him where he's supposed to be. Also right there, that car passing, Boz is a little nervous of cars. So when he turned around and looked at the car, I did not do a correction. His slowing down to look at the car caused tension on the collar, which made him correct himself. So you're really not having to do a whole lot with a prong collar as long as you have your leash the right length. So not too slack, not too tight, and just keeping him right beside you where you want him. If he gets a little too far ahead, we're just gonna do a little pop, which I'm not gonna do right there because he's actually listening really well, but just a little pop, either up, sideways, nope, nope. Right there, every time I said nope. So when he's sniffing really hard like that, you gotta do a little bit harder of a pop because I'm not using a really big prong or a small prong collar on him. It doesn't really give sharp corrections. So when he smells something he's really interested in, you have to do a much faster, more, a little bit of harder of a pop. My timing was off right there because I'm trying to hold my camera, talk, and watch him through the camera. But anytime that nose hits the ground, just give him a good pop with a prong collar. He's actually gonna have the e-collar when he comes home, so you won't be using the prong as much. However, some people at the beginning working with their dog tend to do better with leash corrections than e-collar corrections. So either way, whichever one you use is totally fine. But I just want to show you where I hold the prong collar. I'm also about to turn. I have my wrist behind me still. I'll do it with my arm down so you can see it normally. I'm gonna turn, and he did follow me really well, but if he didn't when I turned right there, I wouldn't have to do anything with my arm at all. When I turned and he didn't follow, the prong collar, good boy, would have caught him and he would have just turned right with me. This little bit of going over Boz where his placement should be on the walk and how to do the prong collar. So I can get right there. He's a little bit behind me. That's exactly where I want him to be because he is a nervous dog. Since he's nervous, I want him more in follow mode rather than walking in front of you. He's been a little sketch with people walking by. I did have him kind of pull towards somebody yesterday. He didn't look aggressive, but he's also not like wanting to hang out with strangers. So I'd rather him just follow you. You be the one who's making decisions and let him learn that you have his back. All right, buddy. He doesn't like walking over grates. Come on, bud. And there's no snatching him right there, like no prong collar corrections when he's nervous about something like that. I just pulled him back over to my side and kept going. But yeah, I'm gonna get winded walking in the cold and trying to talk. This is just a little bit of my morning walks with Boz. We're actually about to go down to I know, buddy, we're gonna work on that. So I'm gonna stop, sit, so I don't get too winded. So with things like that grate back there, it doesn't really look like anything to us. I mean, it's the same level on the ground. It's almost the same color. That doesn't seem like a big deal for people. But what it is for dogs is dogs seeing a lot more contrast than what we see. So any color change on the ground is actually pretty drastic for them. Depending on how the dog sees, they can't really tell if that's a hole in the ground or they don't really know what it is. It's just a big contrast in color. And that's why dogs are nervous with things like that. What I'm gonna do with Boz, especially since it's cold it's cold right now and he can step on metal without worrying about burning his feet, is I'm gonna use treats to convince him to walk over stuff like that. So when he sees a drastic contrast in the ground, he'll be more inclined to check it out and then just walk over it versus being scared and dodging around it. It's not really a huge deal that he dodges other than the fact that it kind of gets annoying on walks. Sit. Like if you're, I don't know, let's say you go to downtown Savannah, it's tourist season, it's real busy, him dipping and dodging anytime he has to walk over some contrast in the ground like that, it's gonna get really annoying. So I do want to teach him how to walk over it, but since he's so food motivated, we're gonna use treats and we are gonna get back on our walk. Let's go, bud.